Hi, we're here at the EOS New York #2 meetup with my new friend Mike, who's going to tell you a little bit about why he's here tonight.
I'm here to see my friend Mahbod and to learn a little bit more about why Everipedia chose EOS, some of the types of calculations and transactions that are going to be hosted there, and to start to unpack some of the crypto economics that those users and institutions can revolve around.
I'm just going to make them up as I go.
Hi, my name is Lily. I'm the co-founder of CryptKey. I am functional professional for blockchain. Tonight we're at the EOS meetup and I'm wearing custom designed EOS coin. So each piece is special, not that it has a coin, but each of them have a public address with QR code engraving on the back.
So if you want to send her some money, that's the place right there.
Yeah, so anyone who owes me money right now, just scan this.
Jim, I'm the co-founder of Evermarkets. We're building a decentralized futures trading platform, currently on the Ethereum blockchain, but interested in other blockchains.
Hi, my name is Lena. I'm a founder for CryptoMinds and definitely here to learn more about EOS. I currently don't own any in my portfolio right now, so maybe after this it'll change. So definitely interested to learn and meet more people.
I don't think we're supposed to talk.
Hoping to find out what his next project is going to look like on EOS.
So please, if you don't mind, give a round of applause for Mahbod.
Is this thing on? All right, so blockchain, cool stuff. So I got into tech from annotating rap lyrics. In 2009, I was breaking down a rap song with my friend, and he was like, there should be a site where people can do this for every song. So I kind of got into the wiki world of things with Genius, which is a big company now. And then in 2013, kind of connected to my passion for wikis and crowdsourcing. That's kind of what drew me to Bitcoin. The application of Bitcoin that I thought was the most exciting right off the bat was if you could pay people in online communities automatically, the same way that we give the points for Genius are called IQ. So you get IQ points for breaking down what rappers talking about. What if those IQ points were actually worth money? So I always thought that would be really, really cool. And as a community person, community manager type guy, it would make my job a lot easier. So I started investing in Bitcoin, and I also was an angel investor in Coinbase because I thought Bitcoin was a really cool concept, but they were the first people who I met who I'm like, these guys are legit. They seem like mature dudes who can really make a business out of this. So Bitcoin is where I got excited about it. Ethereum is where it became more applicable to the stuff that I'm working on. Like Bitcoin, because it's from a technical perspective, very basic blockchain. You can't actually do the things that I was envisioning. You can't actually have something where people are getting paid small amounts of money. So it's more like, it looks like Bitcoin is going to be more like digital gold. It's kind of, it doesn't actually serve like a purpose, but it's a good brand name and it is a way to store money. So it seems like that's how people are going to store money. But Vitalik coming out with Ethereum and the notion of being able to make your own tokens for things is where we had already launched Everipedia at that point, and we started to think this is something that could actually apply to our business. Started to think maybe this could be the blockchain Wikipedia, not only the new and improved Wikipedia, but the Wikipedia that's on the blockchain. So we had already been pitching a lot of investors on Everipedia, trying to get them involved. And some of them included the people who are now behind EOS. So we'd already been in touch with them when EOS was announced. And immediately we thought that this would be a really, really good opportunity to turn Everipedia into dApp. And one of the things that's very exciting about EOS is that we're going to build a decentralized knowledge database out of it. So there are three aspects to that. There's the tokens, so we actually keep track of who's getting paid. You know, people add content, they get IQ tokens, and they can trade these for money. Then there is the content layer of EOS, where the actual content, these encyclopedia articles that we have, like Wikipedia has, instead of storing them on AWS and having to pay a lot of money, we're going to be storing these on the EOS tokens. And which also means that it's impossible to censor Everipedia. Like Wikipedia is censored in 20 countries, but Everipedia is hosted on these decentralized tokens all over the world, so it's impossible to censor it. And then the third blockchain aspect is the governance. So these tokens are actually, the intrinsic value that they hold is that they are the key to all governance decisions on Everipedia, including what the tokens do. Like they can, even the token's power itself can be mutated by the tokens. So the token module, governance module, and article module is the way that our blockchain is going to be set. And it's going to result in a encyclopedia where you're paying money for influence on what goes in there, but at the same time, the people who go in tokens have the biggest incentive to keep the quality high. And the company is also holding a lot of tokens, so nothing can really be run amok either. And then these same tokens, which are used to govern the site, are also used to pay the contributors. So Larry Sanger is a good friend of mine. He's one of the founders of Wikipedia. And the way that I became friends with him is that I saw an interview with him where he was complimenting Genius. He thought that Rap Genius was a really good wiki application. So when we launched Everipedia, we got in touch with him, we told him what we're doing, we thought it was cool. But then when we told him that we're decentralizing it, he made the decision to come onto our team full time. And now Larry Sanger, the co-founder of Wikipedia, is Chief Information Officer of Everipedia. And what made him decide to do that is that we are decentralizing. He said that the technology of blockchain goes along with the original vision that he had for Wikipedia, which was a vision of not making it a nonprofit, but making it an entity where the people who are building it actually own it. That never came to pass. The people who build Wikipedia are volunteers. But the reason is because the technology wasn't there. So now we have blockchain technology, which would actually allow a big group of people working autonomously to be able to share ownership of what they're creating. So I think that's very, very exciting. And it was exciting enough to bring Larry Sanger on board. So the storage of EOS is what appeals to us the most over launching on ERC20. EOS is going to allow us to decentralize hosting of the site on IPFS, which means that we don't have any storage costs. So we don't have this big fixed cost that, say, Wikipedia has, where they have to raise money just to break even. Furthermore, you can see here the list of some of the countries that censor Wikipedia. There are actually 20 countries that censor at least part of Wikipedia. And we are going to be bringing Wikipedia to these countries in uncensorable form. So I think that's very, very exciting. EOS is also more environmentally friendly. Basically, the electricity that other tokens burn just to create the token, and it's just getting wasted. For us, that electricity is going to be recycled into actually running our website, which is being used to teach people stuff. So it's the more environmentally friendly option for us as well. So I went over a little bit about this. Everipedia has been a long time in the making. The way that I got involved is I was giving a talk about Rap Genius at UCLA. And Sam and Teddy, who are the president and CEO of Everipedia, were finishing up college at the time. And they came to my talk and they showed me my Everipedia page. And the reason I got so excited about this is because at one point someone had made a Wikipedia page about me, but it got deleted. They said that I'm not important enough to hide. So I just remembered how much that stung. And then he came up to me in my talk and he's like, check it out, I made your Everipedia page. It's kind of like your Wikipedia page. And I just had a eureka moment where I thought, if I wanted a Wikipedia page so bad and they kind of like teased me with it, there's probably millions of people who are in the same boat that I am. And sure enough, right now, our site is one of the top 1,000 sites in the US. And the main traffic we get is people Google searching the word wiki. People are Google searching the word wiki for things that they think have Wikipedia is that don't. And then there's these websites that are kind of like the stopgap. The most popular example that comes to mind is Crunchbase. Basically, like, it's really hard for startups to get wikis. Someone makes a Wikipedia page for a startup, and someone takes it down, just like they took down my page because they say the company's not important. So you have this company, Crunchbase, which allows wikis to be made for startups. But then, like, you go to Crunchbase, and like, you know, there's an Everipedia article for Crunchbase. It says Everipedia is based in Los Angeles. But then you can't click on Los Angeles and get the whole history of Los Angeles. Like, it's what Wikipedia editors call the rabbit hole. So kind of the grand vision behind Everipedia is what if we unify all of these shitty stopgap wikis with the mother wiki, Wikipedia, so that everything connects and everything can rabbit hole. You go to your favorite startup, you click the founder's name, you click where you went to school, you click the founder of the school, and you just keep going on the rabbit hole, learning about the world we live in. So that is the vision. Kind of like Genius was basically trying to take out all of these inaccurate lyrics sites. Wikipedia, at least Wikipedia 1.0, is trying to take out all of these stopgap wikis like Crunchbase, Murderpedia, Star Warspedia, and so on. But then now, with the decentralization element being introduced, and also the co-founder of Wikipedia joining as an executive of the company, it's kind of cool to think of it not just as an expansion pack for Wikipedia, but maybe the future software of Wikipedia. Like, it would be really, really cool if someday all of Wikipedia is on our software, which is like way easier to use. It gives you ownership for creating stuff. If you're a celebrity, you can get a verified account. You know who has contributed to each page. There's not as much anonymity. It looks nicer. There's going to be a way sexier app. Basically, everything that these other wiki sites, like my old site Genius or Quora or Stack Overflow have, but then the original wiki is still stuck in 2001. So it would be cool to get it into Web 2.0 mode and maybe even into Web 3.0. So that's what we're doing with Everipedia. This is our team. Amazing group of people. I'm just like the faker hype man here, but everyone else is, pretty much everyone else is either a world-class engineer or a living legend. And you know, Larry over here is the guy I was talking about. Amazing guy. He's the guy who invented the word Wikipedia. So that kind of says a lot. And then one of our advisors you see down there is Zach Exley, who was the chief revenue officer of Wikipedia before getting involved in running the Bernie Sanders campaign. And of course, Brock Pierce, who is one of the founders of EOS. And I think part of the reason why he wanted there to be an alternative to Ethereum is to have an environmentally friendly alternative to Ethereum. I think that's a big part of what appeals to me, and I think a lot of people in this room about EOS, is that I was so excited about Bitcoin because of the egalitarian element of the technology, the transparency. The one problem I had with it was that it seemed to just be senselessly burning electricity. So with EOS, we found a way to use the whole market. I think that's a lot more exciting. This is a quote that was from PG, tech legend, luminary. And this was in his essay called Startups We'd Like to Fund that he wrote in the year 2010. He said that there's room to do to Wikipedia what Wikipedia did to Britannica. So that is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to turn Wikipedia from the online encyclopedia into truly encyclopedia unlimited. Swag. Are there any questions? Who wants a wiki? I'll make a wiki page for anyone who's down.
Hi, my name is Brian. I just wanted to know, like, what the token and the various participants in Everipedia, like, how they're gonna earn a token, who contributes to editing, like, if somebody edits and it gets verified, do they receive IQ tokens? Who can get IQ tokens and how does that all work?
You get IQ tokens by contributing content, but then if the content has a lot of upvotes or has a lot of traffic, you get a lot more. The quality control part that I think is very crucial is that you have to stake a little bit of token to even put an edit out there to get accepted or rejected. So if you're trying to spam or troll or do anything like that, you're basically going to get shut down really, really quick. And I guess you're going to have a nominal amount to let you stake, so you kind of get to come out and take a few swings at it. But if you're not doing high quality work, you're going to lose the ability to contribute very quickly.
Yeah, how do you become a content contributor? I mean, I tried a couple of times to actually sign up, and it says that someone will get back to you. I had an issue with that, trying to become a content contributor for it.
Well, if you ask for an invite, right now we're just so overwhelmed. We're doing it once a week. So has it been a full week? If it's been a full week, maybe we messed up. We have to talk. We have to talk after with this, and I have to get you an invite. But then once you get the invite, hopefully it's kind of easy. I guess it's still not that easy. Like, the idea is to make it as easy to use as Facebook, and it's definitely not there, but it's way easier to use than Wikipedia. Like, go on Wikipedia. A, their software is really, really tough, and B, they have this community that is not very welcoming. The community they're volunteers, they're not getting paid, so the way that they get compensated is by flexing their muscles and not allowing other people to join the community. So, Sorry if it's been lagging right now. It's because we're on the invite system, but let's talk afterwards. It'd be really cool to get you involved. We should. One thing I think everyone's got to do, and a lot of people are not interested about it, but you got to make your own wiki page. Like, for me, it was so therapeutic to add to my own wiki page, just because I've always been kind of pissed off about my Google. And that's one way that I like to think of Everipedia, is I think of it as man-made Google. Like, right now, we basically have this machine where if you're snooping on someone, you go and you look them up on the machine, and the machine gives you information in this impersonal and oftentimes, in my opinion, hostile way. Like, if you Google search me, I feel like the results are kind of hostile. Then you go to my Everipedia page, and it's the same exact information, but it's broken down by a human. And I think that makes a big difference. So.
Question back here.
Rick. We'll go to this side.
Hey, my name is Vladimir. So I have a question about the technical question. So at the moment, Everipedia is a website?
Yeah, it's already a pretty big site. It's been live for about 2.5 years.
Right. So once EOS goes live and there is a mainnet, can you talk a little bit how things will change and how Everipedia will be using the blockchain? I understand that things will be distributed via IPFS, but what will change exactly? How are you guys going to transition?
Already, I mean, we have a pretty big community, and people in the community are getting compensated, but it's just not happening automatically. And you already actually get IQ points too. Right now, IQ is just the name of the points you get for contributing stuff to the site, kind of like video game points. The big difference is right now, there's not a delineated number of IQ tokens, and also you can't change them for money. So the big jump is, it's kind of the way other sites work too. Like Stack Overflow, you get karma for answering stuff. On Genius, you get IQ points. That's where we stole the name for answering stuff. But then being able to change it into money, and then also being able to use those to alter how the site functions, we think is obviously a big change. But then even the worthless points make a difference. Like, I think part of the reason why, a big part of the reason why I think Genius would be considered more sophisticated than Wikipedia is on Genius, at least you get the points. Like, you explain what Snoop Dogg's saying, you might not get any money, but at least you're getting the points. If you go on Wikipedia and you explain Snoop Dogg's life, you're not even getting that. No one even knows that you wrote it.
How are you exchanging it for money?
On exchanges. I think right now the developers are figuring out what exchanges it's going to be on and all of that.
But presumably, for average people, for non-crypto people, they just wouldn't have an option. And also, is there a back-end advertising involved for non-crypto purchases of advertising?
I don't think there's any plan to run ads right now. I think the main way that the token is going to monetize is the company still has a lot of tokens, and then also there's going to be a tax built in to the tokens for people who are using them as an investment. So basically there's a differential between the price you pay if you're buying it versus if you're earning it. And then that differential, if the site becomes the new Wikipedia and these tokens are immensely valuable just for the control they have over the site, then that alone would be enough to bring in money, basically fund the whole operation.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
How are you guys, like, what is your development plan like as far as on EOS? How far along is it? Like, how do you plan to integrate it? And you know, how easy is it for you guys to build on EOS right now? Are you trying with like other things like Stellar, like the model, or are you just going straight to like the Dawn 2.0 era and like working through their documentation and stuff?
So we're launching before EOS launches. So the token is going to then move over to EOS. But the things that we're working very closely with EOS on, one is the airdrop. So EOS now has a VC connected to it called the Galaxy Fund, and that's who gave all of the funding for Everipedia. And then in exchange for that, basically the tokens that they bought for funding the site are going to be distributed for free to everyone who owns EOS. So for every EOS you have, you're also going to get 1 IQ. And one reason that's really cool is overnight there's going to be this huge group of people who have an intrinsic stake in Everipedia, and we're already seeing it. Like right now, 6 months ago, if someone wanted to contribute to the site, trust me, they'd be contributing. But right now, like sometimes I hear, "Where's my invite?" And it's like, shit, we gotta catch up. But also, it's blowing up in popularity because a lot of people are thinking, "Wow, I always wanted to contribute to Wikipedia, but there was nothing in it for me. But now I have EOS, so that means I can contribute to Everipedia, and there is something in it for me."
Good question. Why IPFS versus EOS's native storage? And then what are your thoughts about staking EOS tokens?
Oh man, Sam, where are you? So I'm not the technical guy, so I'm not the right guy to answer that question. But I don't know. What was the maybe I can figure out the second question. Yeah, why are we doing IPFS? I'm sorry, I don't know. But what's the second question?
The second question was just you can use tokens for storage, computing, and sort of voting. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Are you guys interested in using it for any of those features?
I think the main thing we're going to be using it for is storage. Yeah, but you stumped me. I don't know. So I'm the community guy. So if you ask me for like biographical details on the founder of EOS's early life, I can tell you that. But the technical stuff, I guess the best thing I can say is please join our Telegram.
Well, 2 weeks ago, Thomas Cox said that they won't have the storage feature on June 3rd, most likely. But it will be based off of IPFS anyway. So it'll be pretty smooth. vision. But if you want to launch by like June 3rd, you should probably pay yourself right away.
Yeah, this is Max. Just curious, who verifies that the content is accurate? How does that process work?
The community. I think one thing that helps us a lot is one thing that makes Everipedia very different from Wikipedia is the citation system. So in Wikipedia, you can cite anything that's notable, which is kind of like a circular definition, but it basically means anything that's in print. And that seems pretty counterintuitive that the internet encyclopedia is based on print sources. And then also sometimes it can be really inconvenient because sometimes someone they'll cite something that's like some obscure book in a library somewhere and you can't even verify the source. So the way Everipedia works is you can cite any URL. If it's somewhere on the internet, you can cite it on Everipedia. Just like if you Google search something, stuff from all over the internet comes up. And on the one hand, this makes it more tolerant than Wikipedia because we're allowing anything, basically anything that's on the internet. But on the other hand, it makes it more robust because you can check any citation with one click of a button. Whereas on Wikipedia, a lot of the citations, you just have to take the person's word for it.
So the people that are verifying, do they need to stake tokens? What prevents somebody from posting an article, their buddy's going on and saying, yeah, this is true? Like, how does it work a little more specifically than the community? I'm sorry if I'm missing it, but I don't quite see it.
I think it's just that there's so many people who have the tokens that it's hard for someone who's got an interest group to not get someone else jumping in, and then it could be a big waste for them. Maybe like there's an interest group that decides to stake a bunch of their tokens to get something bad approved, but then there's still so many other people out there that if it's something that no one cares about, then maybe they could go in and change it, at least until someone actually does care. But if it's something that's big, they're always going to get outvoted. Kind of like the thing, with cryptocurrency, if 51% of the people hold it, they can destroy the whole thing. And then that's not going to happen because of game theory. So some similar things are going to be going on in the IQ community.
One example, person A uploads content, they stake X amount of tokens, person B verifies person C, like what would happen?
Well, I can tell you what I hope. I hope that a big part of what will actually get you the additional tokens is if people are actually reading your content. My biggest worry is if people are writing super scholarly, super well done articles that no one's even reading and the system's set up to let them get tokens. But the system and the governance are being designed right now. And I'm probably the worst person to give the examples. I'm going to be really good when it comes out. When it comes out, I'm going to be the one who's like actually using it and upvoting and downvoting, but in terms of theory, it's hard for me to understand this stuff. All I can say is like, the idea, one thing that they really have to figure out is the previous question, to not let an interest group be able to run amok. So I think that's a big part of how the theory behind the token structure is designed. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, actually mine was sort of similar to that. I think maybe what you were referring to is like a P plus epsilon attack, basically bribing people to, verify information that you have an interest in being true. I think the interesting thing about that is that not even proof of stake or proof of work are theoretically robust to that kind of attack. It just sort of works. I think the idea is that there is some altruism out there and that there is no one who can actually have that much stake to actually execute an attack like that. But anyways, I was actually just wondering if there are any resources that I could go to look at some of the theory or maybe some of the ideas behind the reward system and the sort of incentives. Is there any documentation for that?
Well, I have a big exclusive announcement. All the time, everyone is asking when the white paper is going to be released in our Telegram and Facebook and everywhere. So I'm here to tell you, next week, there's going to be an IQ white paper. It's going to be amazing.
Cool, thanks.
question. So on the EOS system, you need to have EOS tokens to secure bandwidth or resources, whatever the term you want to use. And as you demand more and more, as your system grows, you're going to need more and more EOS tokens. So what is how do you plan to scale that? Do you have an embedded inflation in the IQ token, or how does that work?
I believe that there's 1 billion tokens. There's the same number of IQ tokens as EOS. So just to keep it one to one. No?
I could probably answer that a little bit. So block producers are responsible for providing bandwidth, storage, and computational power. So it's up to us to make it economically viable for the dApps on the system. Also, what's being built into it at this point is essentially a fractional reserve system, so that if you are not using, say, part of that storage, it can be siphoned off to another dApp that would demand it. So the dApps, block producers should be making it easy on the dApps so that they don't need to worry about those sorts of items, and it's up to the block producers to make sure that they're providing those sorts of services. Oh, okay, so you're asking.
Yeah, how do they keep up with demand for more EOS tokens?
Sure.
So let's say it goes from $1 billion network to $100 billion network. They have just their original 30 billion or 30 million they raised via Galaxy. How are they going to be able to have capital to secure additional EOS to keep up with network bandwidth?
Well, the company still has a lot of the tokens. Like only a certain number are being sold, but a lot of them are still being kept by the company. So they can just keep on selling tokens.
So there is an inflation, or there is not? You sell IQ tokens to help fund the purchase of additional EOS to keep up with your demand. Are you selling more IQ tokens in the future?
This is getting too technical for me. I'm sorry. I really don't know. I'm stumped. Should have brought Sam.
Well, come to LA, you guys.
Hey, thank you. I have a question about incentives for content creators. So you mentioned you don't really want like scholarly academic content, more about readership and maybe traffic.
I am, yeah. I don't think everyone in the community feels that way. But
how will content creators be incentivized? Will it be about quality? Will it be about sort of the accuracy of the things they write? Will it be just volume and readership based? How do you guys sort of plan to incentivize that?
Yeah, all of those should be factors. Traffic is the easiest one to measure, but I think a lot of people have complaints about centralized sites on the internet using traffic as the main measure and some of the perverse things that does. So if there's ways to measure quality, that should be a big part too. But traffic is very, very important to me. Before I got into Genius, doing Rap Genius, I was a blogger. And I had kind of a blog with a cult following. And Tom, who was the CEO of Genius, one time said to me, he's like, I'm such a big fan of your blog, and you write such amazing stuff on there. It's so sad that hardly anyone is ever going to read it. So it would be so nice if there was a site where millions of people could read the stuff that you're writing. And that was kind of the reason he built Genius. So I think it's very, very important to not only do high quality work, but to do things that have a big audience. That's just always been a big part of my philosophy. It's a big reason why I'm into the internet. Like if you just want to write great poetry, you can write it like with a quill pen on parchment in your ancestral home. But if you actually want people to read it, you can just put it on a blog, and then everyone all over the world can read it. So
this is probably maybe more of like a fundamental question. I know you're not so tech heavy into EOS. Basically, you said it's serverless, and I heard this all the time. Like, blockchain is serverless, but there is content that's actually being held on servers, correct? Because you're just having multiple servers. If you can just kind of help me understand, and excuse my ignorance, that is it just an open source protocol that EOS has that's more user friendly as an application to then latch onto multiple servers and collect that data? How is that working, and what helps them give them a competitive advantage over other cryptocurrencies that could potentially, use the same technology?
I think there is, I'm blanking on the name, but Silicon Valley actually just launched like the Silicon Valley version of EOS. And Andreessen Horowitz invested, does anyone remember the name? What is it? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I think a lot of people agree that it's a good idea. It's kind of interesting because EOS did not originate from Silicon Valley, but the guy behind it, Dan Larimer, is the biggest blockchain genius of all. Like, he doesn't work from Silicon Valley, he works from Virginia, but he built Steemit, which is I think like 40% of all blockchain transactions happen on Steemit. So like the only actual working blockchain thing is Steemit. And he's the EOS guy. So that tells you a lot about why we think EOS is cool and why we're using it. Yeah, Mike.
What are some communities that Everipedia is serving that have unmet needs by other pedias, and what if any are some communities that you would like to serve even better?
Well, the one you'd think it's on purpose because of my last company, but completely as a coincidence, Everipedia gets a lot of traffic from rappers. Like, it's just ridiculous. There's this rapper Cardi B, who you guys have probably all heard of. And for about a year and a half, we were just getting tons of traffic because she didn't have a Wikipedia page yet. She was already super, super famous. Like, her page was like 20% of all of our site's traffic right when we got started, and she didn't have a Wikipedia page. And she's not the only one. I think out of our top 10 pages of all time, over half of them are rappers, and then over half of the rappers are female rappers. So like basically, if you're a rapper, it's really hard to get a Wikipedia page. If you're a person of color, it's really hard to get a Wikipedia page. If you're a woman, it's really hard to get a Wikipedia page. And if you're all three of those, then you better become Cardi B famous. Otherwise, you're not getting a Wikipedia page. So these are some of the communities we're serving. Other stuff that becomes really big is startups, tokens. Every token wants a Wikipedia page and they can't get it. So now they come to the token Wikipedia and make a page. We get a lot of traffic for those. People on social media, like if you're, you can have 6 million followers on Instagram, but you won't necessarily have a Wikipedia page, even though people are Googling your Wikipedia all the time. But this is just stuff we stumble onto. It's like, you keep going, you're just trying to make wikis for everything, and then you see what has an audience that isn't being served by the incumbent.
So I guess first of all, thank you for the idea and for contributions there. These environments only really evolve when people try and build real stuff on them. It's the first EOS meeting I came to was a lot of theory and how do we stop and how do we do this. The reality is that no matter how clever you get, some clever arsehole out there will outsmart you when you trust the studio or whatever it is. The only way we push forward is by actually building something real and seeing you trust it outsmart you where and how. But I think the previous question was how do you stop bad actors? And from the first EOS meetup, one of the things that I forget what his name is, but the last presenter was talking about reputation on the network, and I think one of the things that will stop that scenario that we were talking about, having your friends validate things that aren't true, is reputation. And because you have to, because you have to essentially stake some form of token to become an actor on the network to begin with, your account essentially has some value to you. So because your account has value to you, it's not in your best interest to go and validate bullshit because you're going to lose your reputation really quickly and get downvoted and kicked off the network, and then you've got to buy your way back in again. So it hopefully will work that way and weed people out. So,
yeah, this isn't really my understanding. I'm more just like good at making jokes and getting people excited about technology on Twitter and stuff. But the guys I'm working with are so smart. They're just absolutely brilliant. And I see how hard they're working to build this architecture. So it's really just that I trust them. It's kind of like, I was an early investor in blockchain, not because I understood blockchain, but because I met Brian Armstrong, and I'm like, wow, this guy's one of the smartest guys I've ever met. And that's the same way I feel about Everipedia's president. Sam, we call him Persian Zuck. This guy's literally just the Persian Mark Zuckerberg. And then his very good friend, Kedar Ilyer, who they both went to UCLA, they were classmates in college, joined the company several months ago as our lead blockchain guy. And he's probably the most talented blockchain developer in the world. He's one of the most talented blockchain guys in the world. So we've got some really, really good guys working on these problems, and I think they're going to build an amazing architecture. And I'm just going to try to entertain the contributors. I'm just trying to keep a smile on everyone's face. I just want to make everyone feel good. So please, also by the way, everyone join our Telegram, but also if you have any interest in actually contributing, also there's a Facebook group called Everipedia Editors, which was, before Telegram took over, that was kind of our community hub. So please join both of those if you're interested in getting involved. Yeah?
Well, first, congratulations, you have as many engineers in your lab. Well, very good job for that. So my question have two parts. The first part is still with incentives. So I totally agree with like after the airdrop, you will see the first wave of like strong interest from the public to like Wikipedia, but those are necessary. They're mostly be the EOS holder, so they're not necessarily be the content like contributor. And with the like the invitation system currently lagging behind. So how long will be the gap for us to actually see the network effect actually start to like take place on the platform? So that's the first question. Second one, I still would love to discuss a little bit more about bad actor. Assume if I'm a bad actor, I stake my token, right? So I publish my content. And if I can, for example, invite my friend to like view my content, like generate a large traffic, and I will probably accumulate a large holding over time. So how Everipedia can solve a problem like that with your current mechanism there? Thank you.
All right. So what was the first question again? Give me a quick. Let's take them one by one. Those are both really, really good.
Sure. Can you walk us through the incentive model a little bit more? So after the airdrop.
Yeah. Okay. So right now it's already taking effect, but it's kind of funny. So right now with Steemit, so Steemit is this very, very popular site. I don't think that people are going on Steemit to earn the Steem tokens. I think they're going on Steemit because they really, really like crypto and they want to be part of the first crypto community, and then they also happen to get Steem tokens. But the main thing is it's kind of like the crypto draws crypto people who want to be part of it. So that's kind of what's happening with Everipedia right now. Like we're not even giving IQ tokens yet. When people see that we're messing with this really, really cool technology, maybe they're into the technology, so that makes them also want to be get into the site, start making some wiki pages and see how it works. And one thing that's very, very important for Sam is he doesn't want to use the word earning Steem tokens. It's not like you're doing this to get paid money. It's more like you are volunteering your services to build a knowledge base, but then you're getting the tokens to reflect your partial ownership of the knowledge base that you've created. So it's a little bit different from getting paid. It's more just that you're getting something to represent what you've created, not that you're getting paid for what you've created. And then the second question.
The bad actor.
Yeah, so bad actors. So if you invite your friend, it's kind of like, I think on a page that no one's reading and no one cares about, you could probably do some bad stuff. Just because there probably you won't need a lot of tokens to get something approved, and like basically no one cares. But if it's something that people care about, like if people are actually reading, then there's going to be other people voting, and then not every user's vote is the same. Someone who's proven themselves and is like a master editor or an admin obviously has way, way more voting power. So it's kind of like, you know, if a tree falls in the wood and no one's around to hear it. Like if there's something that no one's reading and no one cares about, I think you could get away with some vandalism. But if it's something that people are paying attention to, and there's a lot of people who have tokens, you and your posse are never going to be able to get enough power to really pull off anything too shady. I hope.
Question.
I was wondering, how do you prevent duplicate content? So, for instance, within your own Everipedia, and also, are you going to have multiple languages, or is it just English?
Very, very good question. So
let's say, for instance, I could. It's a serious question. I speak 3 languages. I could just write one and the other. I was wondering that.
So the way that Wikipedia does languages is pretty interesting. I'll do the second question first. So the way that Wikipedia does languages is pretty interesting. They basically have like hermetically sealed sites from one another. So you know there will be an article on Kim Kardashian in 20 different languages, and some of them might be really good, and some of them might be awful. Some languages might not even have them. So it's kind of hodgepodge. So we definitely think we can create a much more robust language system, a language system that might be able to deliver the same page in different versions, even if there are different communities working on it. Kind of like how Facebook does foreign languages. Facebook, it knows what country you're in, so it kind of guesses what language stuff to show you, and it's more sophisticated than Wikipedia. So we kind of want to go that way. And we already have people from foreign countries who want to work with us. The problem is, it's really hard to get stuff started in foreign languages until we import Wikipedia. Because like, you know, you don't want to tell the French, like, we have a French user, we want him to make a page for like the new hot French rapper, but then like the rapper performed at the Eiffel Tower, so now you got to make a page about the Eiffel Tower. Like that sucks, because there's a Wikipedia page about it. So once we do all of the Wikipedia imports and we figure out exactly how the site is going to interface with Wikipedia, that's going to let us actually get rolling on foreign languages. Right now, foreign languages, the thirst is there, but we still haven't designed the software. And then, so what was your first question again?
How do you prevent duplicate content?
Yeah, so duplicate.
So within your own site, because you know, like we're talking about censorship and everything else, and also by someone who's going to another site, just copy and paste it.
Yeah, so dupes on our own site, it happens and it's tough. Right now, it's just you have to trust that the editors are smart. And even though we're getting a lot of people, we still vet everyone pretty closely. So hopefully, someone's got to be able to pass the smell test. Then they would notice if they made a duplicate page. Then copy and pasting stuff, especially when people are doing it to try to earn tokens, there's going to have to be a bot, like a plagiarism bot that can check for that. So that's something that's in the works. Everipedia is going to need a lot of bots. Like Wikipedia has a lot of bots, and we're going to need way, way more. And like one thing that's going to be cool about the tokens is you don't only pay tokens for people to do work, you also give tokens for developers to build bots. So if someone can build a bot that improves the whole ecosystem, they can get tokens for that.
You just touched upon it with Facebook, but I don't know if you can expound upon, you know, I know Mark Zuckerberg talked about how he would decentralize Facebook. I don't know if you're, following up on that. Beyond the Forbes article, whatever the Bloomberg article was that touched on that, how would he go about doing that? What do you think, on just how would you hypothesize that he would go about changing that?
Well, I really want decentralized Facebook because I would be making some money off of that. I've always felt like I'm a power Facebook user. Like there's all these people laughing at my jokes and I get nothing for it. I get likes. So it'd be nice to get a couple $100 a month. I feel like I'm earning Facebook a couple $100 a month. So just give me my check. it was really cool that Zuck made those comments. I think a lot of people in Silicon Valley wouldn't even go that far, and I think it's because he understands how big this technology is. But I think it's hard for an incumbent to pivot like that. I think in capitalism, when there's this new breathtaking technology, it's a lot more commonplace to see a new player come in and take over. So I would not be surprised if a decentralized Facebook can come in and defeat Facebook.
So you're basically saying you just get more coins, you'd actually be benefited more by getting coins, right?
Yeah, I think I should be.
The more you get.
I'm making money for Zuck, you know, so why doesn't Zuck just share some of this money with me?
But if it puts the power more in the user, where's the incentive for Facebook to, just playing devil's advocate, where's the incentive for Facebook to put more power into the user where, you know, the corporation is making less profit and less? There is no incentive.
Because they'll have competition. I think right now they don't have to do it, but once everyone starts expecting decentralized payments, and I think this is coming at the right time. Like, there's about to be self-driving cars, and right now pretty much everyone is driving for Uber. So like, self-driving cars are going to put the whole world out of business. And then we're going to need, I think, universal basic income. So we're going to introduce universal basic income, and there's going to be a bunch of people who need something to do. And these decentralized sites are going to be something to do. Like, a lot of people, you can be getting your universal basic income check, and then you're also making some money from Everipedia. Yeah, I mean, well, as there's less full-time tasks. I mean, we're already seeing this with Uber and the gig economy. There's like less full-time tasks, so now we have these tasks that you kind of fit them to your contract labor schedule. But then decentralization is going to let you take that a step further. It's really just going to be whenever you want, you can plug in and do something valuable and make money.
Is it going to put more power into AWS or less?
With EOS, I think less. I mean, it's funny, we're in the AWS building, but EOS could be bad for their business. Sure. Is there a question over here?
Sorry, I was just based on some of the things you had said before, you know, like a smaller page might be more apt towards vandalism, and you know, some of these people that aren't on Wikipedia, you know, that's what's popular on Everipedia and stuff like that. It made me think that, you know, like a group of bullies would be able to very easily like kind of web bully anybody, you know, because you could outnumber them very quickly, and you'd have to be rich basically to kind of outdo that. So how do you incentivize? I think like the clear solution to that is that you would take it down. Like on Wikipedia, you would just remove that. But how do you incentivize removing content or the lack of content that's bad? How do you, like, you're saying you want, you know, traffic and all these kinds of things, but
so if someone makes a horrible page and someone's still not looking, and no one's looking at it, you're saying like, should there still be a way to get rid of it?
No, I'm saying somebody makes a horrible page and it's the #1 search for this kid at some school, and the whole school is looking at this page and laughing at it. It's making the bullies a whole bunch of, you know, coins and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, I feel like that's a thing that probably shouldn't exist for that kid.
No, anything that's getting a lot of traffic is going to get fixed very quickly. And if someone did a bad job on the original, maybe they'll get a little bit, maybe they'll get a few tokens just for getting the ball rolling, but I think doing high quality work. Also, high quality work is going to be very important for getting promoted. And if you're not promoted, you're not going to earn. It's like, you know, someone who is like a white hat noob editor is not worth as much as someone who's proven themselves. So the person who's proven themselves for everything they do is just automatically going to get more tokens. So getting started, it's kind of like you still have to prove yourself. So I don't think a gang of people is going to be able to come in and do a lot of damage, because right when they're getting started, they have very, very little power.
I think he means that if something's socially inappropriate, like a bully puts something up of a kid and posts it, he goes viral, and thousands of people start, you know, visiting that website, you know, is someone going to be there to say, hey, this is completely inappropriate, these bullies shouldn't be making this money, and...
So you're saying it's inappropriate because, like, there is...
Yeah, the kid's a minor, and he's in a compromising position, and somebody took a picture. That's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah. Like, there's something that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
How do you incentivize?
Well, so Everipedia's policy is that if it is cited, then we don't remove it. will only remove information that's not cited. And that's also Google's policy. If someone's in a news article, even if they're a minor, and you Google their name, that news article is going to come up. So that news article is also going to be on their Wikipedia page, on their, Everipedia page.
Say it again, you said it has to be cited?
Yeah, there needs to be a citation from somewhere on the internet. So
It goes somewhere, right?
yeah, there's nothing on Everipedia that doesn't come from somewhere else on the internet. Just like Google. Just like if you Google search something, you're seeing.
You don't put it in Google, right? You're not Google. So I don't see the connection already.
I like to think of, I think of Everipedia as the man-made Google. Basically, the reason I wanted a Wikipedia page for myself so badly is if you Google me, my Google search is very impersonal and mean. It tells you like a bunch of mean stuff about me, and it's just a machine. It doesn't give any explanation. But then if you go to my Everipedia page, it's actually a person giving you the story of my life, and it makes me a little bit, it makes me come off as a little bit less of a scumbag. So, thanks Everipedia.
Why don't you walk through an Everipedia?
So my question.
Like who? Wait, we got another question.
My question is about the tokens.
Yeah.
My question is about tokens. You talked about how they're earned, I guess, contributors to the content are rewarded with tokens, especially proportional to the activity. And we talked about staking tokens. What are the behaviors that people would spend tokens on the network? Whether they have tokens other than staking, or other services that they consume the tokens that they have, or where do the tokens, aside from selling them on an exchange, like are there other sources that can be bought?
What are people voting on, right? It's going to be the site rules. I think it's basically going to be some way to be able to influence the content. Say like what goes and what doesn't go.
So you spend tokens for influencing the content by voting on things?
Yeah, but then it still has to all be cited and be legit. I think it's going to be kind of like Yelp. Like basically on Yelp is a wiki. It's this huge database where a lot of people have given information. And then a business can pay money to influence that information. But they can't do anything that crazy. Like, if you're the worst restaurant in town, even if you give Yelp $1 billion, Yelp is still going to tell everyone that you're the worst restaurant in town. So we're kind of Yelpifying, with these tokens are going to allow for Yelpification of Wikipedia. Is one way to think of it. And it's like, it's for profit, it's more like Facebook. Are there bad things about that? Yeah. But guess what? There's also bad things about being a nonprofit. When you're a nonprofit, you also have all kinds of weirdo, perverse incentives and interest groups. I'm a capitalist, so I'm like, I think being for-profit is as Winston Churchill said, it's a terrible system, but it's better than anything else you got. So, yeah.
Going back to the previous discussion about removing content, the deleted content, you want to use the planetary file system, hyperbolic name, IPFS. So each hash on the IPFS is related to a specific piece of content, and as far as I understand, it cannot be removed. And in that case, also in the interest of being censorship resistant, I'm guessing it would correspond to a single page. Doesn't that mean that by implication that each page will be stored as a version on the interplanetary file system in eternity, and if you've got one page that has really proper content, it will be around forever?
Well, you can definitely remove pages. Is there like some vestige of it left? I'm not sure. Sorry, that's a little bit too technical for me. But you can definitely remove pages. So it's not like if something's on there, it's on there forever.
So maybe we'll take 2 or 3 more questions. And then
I'm sorry if I'm misunderstanding the use of the IP tokens a little bit. Can you hear me? Okay, so say if you're in the business of having a targeted disinformation mission, Kellyanne Conway, Sean Hannity, say your business to spend money to have a page that's a thing. So I would take that.
Kim Jong-il could just buy a bunch of tokens and go and write on his page that he's like a wonderful guy and stuff. It's not going to happen. You've got it basically because a lot of other people own tokens too, and Kim Jong-il's page is something that a lot of people are paying attention to. So even if he spends billions of dollars, he's not going to be able to get enough tokens to pull a fast one like that. And then also the rules are the rules. Like everything still needs to be cited. So you can't just like say, you know, yes is no. There needs to be citations for everything. So I don't think Kim.
Right, but I think he would cite some random propaganda sources that
I think mainly the main reason that wouldn't happen is because so many people own the tokens that he's never going to be able to get enough to pull something like that off. And then also the company has a lot of tokens too, so.
Thank you. Should we take one more question? One in the back? Oh, sorry.
Hi. I have a question on the citations and their legitimacy. Like, do you pay more for primary versus secondary, tertiary? And how do you validate the citations if they're tertiary? Is that a social effort, or?
There is a community, yeah. I mean, a lot of it is common sense. Like even with Wikipedia has these rules, but we just try to do common sense and do the right thing. But join us, see how some of the stuff works. Like some of the stuff where the citations come under a lot of scrutiny is breaking news. We handle breaking news, whereas Wikipedia doesn't. So for that, a mistake can be very, very costly. And we try to be very conservative and use only quality citations. And you see it going down in the Facebook group. That's really where we make a lot of these editorial type decisions. But you know, these tokens are a metaphor. Like still, we're out there, like we know it's humans running this site, not tokens running this site. And we want to make a really, really good, really legitimate site that people are going to rely on and trust. So the tokens are more just a metaphor. They're a tool to help us do that. But they're never going to replace us doing the job.
Thank you, Mahbod. Let's just give a round of applause.